Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Command Core studio. Welcome to the show. So a brand new possibility occurred with the reprinting of a certain card. Let's jump into it. Krenko Mob Boss was reprinted. Some amazing new art. Kicking the door in, and you will literally kick the door in on your opponents with this OP budget deck. Now, don't actually go kick their actual door in. No, I'm talking about like in the game metaphorically, okay? Anyways, 38 cents now for Krenko, which was like a $3, $4, $5 card depending on where you got it from, which one you got. That being said, now incredibly budget friendly. In this deck, incredibly budget friendly. Just $6.95 according to Moxfield, not including shipping or basics, but you already have those basics, or go get them from LGS, your friend, or, you know, just go buy them in bulk online. Regardless, incredibly budget friendly. If you're interested in this deck, make sure you check out that deck list link. And also, this utilizes a card that, well, we'll get to it, but is incredibly impactful, also incredibly budget friendly, and no other Krenko players out there are utilizing it. Here we go. A 3/3 Goblin Warrior for 4 mana in red. Tap, create X 1/1 Goblin creature tokens or X the number of goblins you control. Here's the thing. Krenko is incredibly simple. Yes, very straightforward, but it is also incredibly powerful in that you can take advantage of this ability so much more than many other Krenko players out there that are not taking advantage of ability in this way. Yes, you can go, okay, I'll get one of the best Goblin cards and just chuck them all in this deck and it's going to be great. Absolutely, you're going to have a very effective Krenko deck. Krenko is a very popular commander for a reason. I believe right now it's the 4th most popular commander, actually, according to EDH Rec, and this actually, you know, reprinting of it probably spiked it up a little bit as well because players are like, wait, Krenko's incredibly cheap now, cool, I'll build around it, why not? Goblin, cool art, awesome! But I will tell you that many Goblin players out there, many Krenko players out there aren't taking advantage of Krenko in the ways that they can to get the most out of it. And yes, with this budget build, we will do just that. We will dominate our opponents by getting an absurd amount, exponential amounts of Goblins out so quickly their heads will spin after you kick their doors down. Let's jump into it with the tactics. So first up, the golden pig of this deck. The number 1 card out of the 99 is Hematite Talisman. And you're going to be like, what in the world is that? Well, let me tell you. It's an artifact 4/2 that has pay 3, untap target permanent, use ability only when a red spell successfully cast, and only for each red spell cast. Basically, yeah, you basically can pay 3 whenever a red spell is cast to untap something. Okay, that's basically what this does. It's rewritten in a, you know, weird old way. Basically, this is a card that's like, you know what? You want more goblins. Whenever anyone casts a red spell, more goblins. You just get to pay an extra 3. And by the way, you've got a lot of red spells in this deck, obviously. So essentially, you are doubling up your army every single time you pay 3 mana. And who wouldn't want to do that? Being able to double up your army is massive. I mean, cards like Second Harvest, right, that double up your tokens, that is like a $4+ card these days because, yeah, doubling up things is huge, especially in creature token decks. You're like, okay, double up all my creature tokens for 4 mana. Yeah, that's well worth it. This is like, oh, do you just want an effect on the field that lets you do that again and again and again and again? Yes, please. You can get so much value out of this, and guess how much play it sees in Krenko decks? Okay, you guessed right now. It sees play in 67 out of over 22,000. Less than 0.3% of Krenko decks utilize this gem. Because you know what? When we are leaning into threatening Krenko, that is the red term for like, hey, gain control of a creature, untap, gain face off turn. Threatening is huge for Krenko because you can just keep untapping it to get it again. Essentially, every single second harvest you could ever want in a deck is in your Krenko deck, and you get to double up your army so many times that, again, you're going to flood the board in no time. Your opponents will be overrun with goblins, and Hematite Talisman is an amazing way to do that. Basically, a threaten effect on the board for you that is repeatable, not just when you're casting red spells, when your opponents do so as well. Next up, tactic number 2, it takes 2. Now, again, when it comes to threaten effects, we've got them at every kind of level. At 2 mana, we've got Jeering Instigator, which, okay, that's technically 2 mana, you know, that's got an ability. We'll talk about that here in a second, but it is a goblin, so do keep that in mind, because, again, Krenko does love extra goblins in play. A 2/1 Goblin Rogue for 2 mana in red, you can morph it, and when it's turn face up, basically threaten a creature, essentially. So, again, when it comes to threatening, gain control of it, untap, gain haste all turn. The threaten effects in this deck can also obviously be used if your opponent, say, gets a giant Eldrazi in play, and you're like, oh my goodness. Okay. I'd like your Eldrazi. It's mine now. I swing at you. You annihilate, okay? Yes, you can utilize that in a way where you're kind of defensive about it, but also offensive about it too. But also, of course, just untapping Krenko for 3 mana with this is massive to double up your army again. Smeltwort Ignis can also help you out. Unfortunately, not a goblin, though it kind of looks like a elemental goblin of some sort. So let's just add that, wizards, okay? Pay 3, sacrifice it, gain control of a creature power 3 or less. Krenko has 3 or less. Basically, threaten that creature at sorcery speed. So again, threaten Krenko. Congratulations. 2 mana for Wrangle as well. Gain control of a creature about power 4 or less. Again, Krenko meets that requirement. Cool. 2 mana, untap Krenko, double your army. That is absolutely huge. Next up, tactic number 3. 3 for me, and we got 15 of these cards at 3 mana when it comes to threaten. I mean, like the OG threaten is at 3 mana as well. Basically, all you need to do is just active treason. It's basically the exact same thing. Gain control to our creature up turn, untap, gains haste till up turn. When you're including threat effects with Krenko, make sure you are reading them properly. Do not include ones that are like gain control of a creature and opponent controls. That does not apply. You want to make sure you can untap Krenko effectively, and here you go. 3 mana, double up your army. What's not to love about that? Bloody Betrayal, exact same thing, but you also get a blood token. Congratulations! So yeah, utilize that for some rummaging. Furnace Reigns, gain control of that creature. Whenever it deals combination to a player battle, you get a treasure. So sure, if you send Krenko into battle, you can get that, but more likely you're just gonna be like, okay, threaten, cool, tap again, yay. Goat Nap, you can Goat Nap Krenko, cool. So you gain control of it, untap, and if it's a goat, it gets +0/+0. Krenko's not a goat, who cares? Harness by Force, you can actually strive this for more than one creature. So yeah, again, if your opponent's got that giant Eldrazi, awesome, I'll gain control of that too. But yeah, untap Krenko, tap it again, and maybe, get something else. Hijack, gain control of target artifact or creature type turn, untap. So yeah, it has a little more flexibility if you need to get that, artifact, cool. But if not, cool. Mark of Mutiny, you get a counter on Krenko, you also get to untap it. That's all you need. Pax Betrayal, gain control of target creature type turn, untap that creature, gains haste. If you control a wolf or werewolf, scry 2. So if you happen to somehow have a wolf or werewolf, cool. If not, who cares? It's a threaten effect. Price of Loyalty, you untap that creature. Also, if you spend a treasure to cast a spell, you can plus that to that creature. Doesn't really matter all that much. Again, all we care about literally is threaten, threaten, threaten. Shackles of Treachery, threaten the creature. If it's got equipment attached to it, which it's not going to, you destroy it. So who cares about that as well? Take for a ride. It's got flash slow, you commit a crime this turn. So I guess if you target something, cool, you can cast it instant speed. If not, does not matter all that much. Again, basically just a threaten effect. Traitorous Blood, threaten effect. Twisted Fealty, threaten effect, and get a Wicked Roll token on top of Krenko as well. Unwilling Recruit, looks like it costs a lot of mana. It does not, because you can just cast, for basically red, red, red. Ignore that X, untap that creature. Sure, you can pump it if you need to. So if you actually do need to pump it, you can put mana into that, but more likely it's just a 3 mana threaten effect. And Vengeful Possession. You can also discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So a little bit of rummaging there as well when it comes to threatening. Again, doesn't matter what these threatening effects do, as long as it's literally just, hey, untap the creature, gain control of it, and it gets haste. As long as it doesn't specify opponent's creature, that's what we care about. Again, these are basically all 3 mana cards that say double up your army, which again, Second Harvest sees so much play, and that's at 4. Yes, at instant speed, sure, but still, come on, threaten. And speaking of 4, we are not done just yet, because we have so many ways to threaten our commander. 4 on the floor, Awaken the Sleeper. Gain control to our creature left turn, untap, gain haste left turn. If it's equipped, you can destroy the equipment. Cool, we're not really gonna do that though. I mean, again, if you're gonna be targeting opponent's creature, sure, but yeah, most of the time, our own. Ritz Tempting Apple enters the battlefield, threaten a creature. Awesome, you can also gain some life with it or make an opponent lose life, whatever you need to do. Frenzied Fugue, this one's really interesting actually. Enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, gain control of enchanted permanent until end of turn, untap the permanent, gain haste till end of turn. You get Krenko, more than one untap each one of your turns with this, because again, right, the upkeep, you're like, okay, cool, untap it, awesome, all right, I get to do it again. Then we've got Infernal Captor. You can exploit a creature when this enters the battlefield, including itself, gain control of artifact or creature until end of turn, or just exploit one of your tiny goblins, but you might like your goblins because, again, they double and quadruple in all the things. Involuntary Employment, gain control of creature until end of turn, untap that creature, gain haste till turn, you get a treasure to get some of that mana back. Limits of Solidarity, you can gain control of a creature, again, threaten or cycle it away for 2. Lose Calm, please don't lose your Calm. Gain control of a creature of turn, can't be blocked except by 2 more creatures. Cool, it's got menace, doesn't really matter all that much. Beloved Whispers, we can madness this one if we happen to discard it, great, and also +2/+0. Mascot Interception. Costs 3 less if we target a creature token. So again, if an opponent has like a giant Eldrazi token or whatnot, awesome, we can control that for just 1 mana. But if not, sure, untap Krenko for 4. Point of Betrayal. Scry 1 as well with that threat and effect. Sibling Rivalry. We get a Power Stone token. Cool! But yeah, what we really care about again is untapping Krenko. 10 of Connection. If we target a creature with Menace, which I guess could occur, cool. It costs 3 less, but if not, we just get to, actually just threaten a creature. Trader's Greed gets some mana back as well. Gain control target creature till turn. Untap the creature, gains haste till turn. Add 2 mana of any one color. Again, with all these threaten effects, and we do have some ways to build up our mana. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Also, keep in mind, if we've got our Golden Pig in play, hey, extra threatens. All these red cards, keep that in mind. Next up, Trader's Instinct, gain control target creature to turn, untap it, +2/+0, and haste as well. All the threaten effects for you. Now, you might think we're done, but we're not done quite just yet, because 5/5 for fighting. Tactic number 5. Force Recruiter, 4/3 Orc Pirate for 5 mana. Whenever another pirate enters battlefield under control, gain control target creature left turn, untap it. And it also comes that pirate. Arr, thank you. Shattered States Era. This helps out in multiple ways. First off, the first lore counter, basically threat and effect. The second one, +1/0 to our creature left turn. That can be huge again for our tiny little 1/1 Goblin army, which again isn't so tiny because we've got like 100 or 1,000 of them. But yeah, an extra pump effect could be massive in doubling up their power, essentially. And then the third one, flip it over into a 3/3 Trampling Haste Human Samurai. Cool. Next up, Word of Seizing. Split second if we need it. Untap a permanent, gain 12 until end of turn. Zealous Conscripts. Yeah, we're not going to be going like Kiki Jiki combo with this one. You can if you want to, but yeah, 3/3 Hasty Human Warrior enters the battlefield. Gain control a permanent until end of turn. Threat any permanent that you need to. Next up, tactic number 6, speed things up, and speed things up we shall with Footfall Creator. Enchant one of our lands. It's an aura for a single red mana. Enchanted land has tap, target creature gains trample and haste till end of turn. So yeah, takes basically one of our mana to do so, but that's okay. Again, get Krenko out, get it back out, whatever you need to do, and tap it right away for immediate value. You can also cycle away if you don't need this though. Ferocification, enchantment for 3 mana. Beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. Target creature control, it's +2/+0 until end of turn. That's nice, but more importantly, target creature you control gains menace and haste until end of turn. Menace, meh, who cares all that much? What we care about is that haste again. Literally just a 3-mana enchantment to keep it in play and say, you know what, Krenko, if I ever happen to get you back out, I can give you haste right away so I can tap you right away. That is absolutely huge. Rising of the Day, even bigger though. Enchantment for 3 mana. Creature control of haste. Ledger creature control +1/0. And a little pump effect for Krenko. Cool. More importantly though, again, all of our creatures having haste is massive because we can tap Krenko right away. And also when we tap Krenko, we make a massive army. Then say we untap Krenko, do it again. Guess what? All those goblins have haste and we can swing right away with them. Next up, tactic number 7, start the party, and we shall with Wayfarer's Bauble. Pay 2 taps, sacrifice, get a basic land into play tapped. We got Everflowing Chalice, very flexible mana rock, pay 2 taps for 1, 4 taps for 2, etc., etc. Skirk Prospector, an amazing card for this deck. Absolutely absurd. Sacrifice a goblin, add red. This is kind of like a self-driving car, essentially, at a certain point, once you have this in play with Krenko and some threat effects, because you're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've got like 20 goblins in play. I'll sacrifice 3, cast my threaten effect to untap Krenko. Yeah, tap it again. Just double from 17 to 34. Yeah, okay, I'll sacrifice another 3, another threaten effect. Go from 31 to 62. I'll use some goblins for this card draw spell. Okay, cool, I drew in some more threaten effects, and then I do that again, and again, and again, and again. And if you've got the Golden Pig in play as well, good luck, opponents, my goodness. Fractured Power Stone, very simple, very effective. Cost 2 taps for 1. Mind Stone, exact same thing, but we can also pay 1 to tap and sacrifice to draw a card. Prismatic Lens can help us filter our mana. Iron Crag, we can actually turn it into equipment if we really want to and give it to Krenko, but we don't really care all that much with that. So yeah, just cost 2 taps for 1. Heraldic Banner, cost 3. We're going to choose red when it comes into play. Taps for red. Also, our Gobos, all of our creatures actually that are red, get +1/0. So yeah, double up their power on a mana rock. Lovely. Finally, Worn Power Stone, cost 3, taps for 2. Very efficient, very effective. Moving on to tactic number 8, dig down. First up, Bitter Reunion. Enchantment for 2 mana. Enters the battlefield and may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. So some good rummaging there. On top of that, though, pay 1, sacrifice it. Creature control gain haste till end of turn. Again, a massive play can be had with this one. Either activating Krenko right away, or yeah, swinging out with our team right away too. Next up, Cathartic Reunion. Discard 2, draw 3. Demand Answers. Sacrifice an artifact or discard a card to draw 2 cards. So whatever direction we need to go with that. Grab the Prize. Discard 1 1 card, draw 2. Discarded card wasn't a land, 2 damage to each opponent, so some extra damage there for them too. Highway Robbery, we can plot this for just 2 mana. Discard a card, sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards, or I should say, not both. As that steps through, we can gift a tap fish if we really want to. Like, here, opponent, you get a fish. I've got 5,000 goblins on my side. Discard a card, and then you get to have target player, most likely you. Draw 2 cards, gift was promised. You could also pump a creature plus 2/0. We don't really care too much about that most of the time, so probably not gifting that fish. I'm taking that fish back. Throw a possibility, discard 1 card, draw 2. Tormenting Voice, exact same thing, but it's sorcery speed. Wild Guess as well. The mana value, different, doesn't really matter for our deck. Again, we're in mono red. And Witch's Mark, finally, discard 1, draw 2, get a Wicked Roll token attached to 1 creature you control. Moving on to tactic number 9, though, another avenue to victory, especially for this build, the Pain Game. Molten Gatekeeper, an incredible card with Kranko, 2/3 Golem for 3 mana in red. Another creature enters the battlefield to control, 1 damage each opponent. You can also unearth it to get it back when you need to. But yeah, basically just, okay, I tapped Kranko, I made 10 goblins. You all take 10 damage, that's 30 damage in total with 3 opponents. And, I'll cast a Threaten effect, untap Kranko again, make 20 goblins this time. Your opponents aren't going to last long at all when you have this in play. In the opposite way that we've got Outpost Siege, enchantment for 4 mana, enters the battlefield, choose cons or dragons. Choose cons, still very good. Beginning of your upkeep, exile top card of your library until end of turn, you might play that card, basically impulse draw. Dragons, whenever a creature control leaves the battlefield, 1 damage to any target. So yeah, your opponents are in trouble kind of either way. If they let us keep all of our Gobos in play, we are going to take them out with our amazing Gobbo army. If they decide to take our Gobos out with, say, Wrath of God or something like that, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you just destroyed my 40 goblins. Take 40 to the face. Yeah, you can take your opponents out with that too. Finally, though, tactic number 10, Great Land, where I highlight a great land outside of all those mountains that you have. We also have Song, Mad Treachery, a great MDFC, especially for this deck. Sorcery for 5 mana. You know what it does. Gain control to our creature left turn, untap that creature, gains haste left turn. You've heard that before. This is a threaten effect, but on a land, a huge card that can be game ending for you with this commander. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.